This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Farming Simulator 22 Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Simple Midwest. But before that, this video is brought to you by Alan McCone and Nuka-Cola. Thank you for being farm barons. So the Simple Midwest map can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu, and as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. Let me read you some of the description. A Midwest map with the focus on farming. Larger fields, simple layout made for large crop production. This map includes plenty of spaces around the outside to add production and sell points, and all land is bought with the production points, along with the production plants being sellable. Roads are also able to be purchased for free so that you can terrain edit right up to the roads. Snow also fall on the gravel roads so you can use snow items more, so like snow piles and such. There's also a main farm with a good amount of sheds and storage, and two smaller farms that you must buy the land to use. Let's go ahead and load on in. We are going to be using the mod, so we typically use when we take a look at maps. It is additional field info, additional game settings, animal food overview, field lease, field calculator, and precision farming. I will tell you, if you load this map up in farm manager mode or start from scratch, you will find the main starting farm is completely void of all buildings. In addition, you do not own any land in the play mode, nor do you have any starting machinery. Now, we are loading this map up in farm manager mode for this particular video, and as such, we do indeed have a farm and a farmhouse already pre-placed. Let's go ahead and take a look at that PDA. And I think as the map name kind of holds true for Simple Midwest, there's not a lot of complex stuff going on with this map, and that is not a negative comment. It should run fairly well for just about anyone of all platforms, all machine configurations that can run Farm Sim. This should run very, very well for you. This map does have all the standard crops available to us in FS22, in addition to the premium edition crops of red beet, carrots, and parsnips. And if we go ahead and take a look at our lands, we start up by owning Farmland ID 19. That is the main starting farm. That can be bought for $3,132,000 in any alternate game mode. That also includes Field 19 as well. In addition to that, as the description said, there are two smaller farms. One is located here at Farmland ID 7. That can be bought for $316,000. And Farmland ID 1. That can be bought for $885,000. Now, as far as the buyable roads, it's rather interesting how the map author has set this up. For example, if I click here, I get Farmland ID 60. You'll notice that includes the north to south roads, but does not include the east to west intersections. If I buy Farmland 57, that includes this entire road, east to west, minus the intersection here to the north. That's going to be Farmland ID 59, and this one's going to be Farmland ID 62. So when you are looking to pick up the roads, do pay attention as to what is going to be included as far as some of these intersections, because it's not always going to be apparent. In addition to that, as the description said, we do have buyable plots of land here along the sides where we can put down additional productions, as well as small buyable plots here in town. Let's go and take a look at our farmland lease screen. This is going to show us all of the buyable farmlands, how large those farmlands are, if those farmlands include any field or fields, what is included, and lastly, how much is that given farmland going to cost us. You can see that this farmland is fairly expensive for the sizes. So you are going to want to make sure that you do have a pretty good bank account balance before you start going up and buying a bunch of land. Now, if we take a look at our field calculator screen, this is going to show us the specific sizes of each particular field individually. We can then go back and cross-reference that with the farmland lease screen to see which field is associated with which farmland ID number to then ultimately know how much it's going to cost to buy any one given field. If we take a look at our crop counter, we do have the standard base game crop counter available to us here on this particular map. And if we take a look down through our prices screen, you will see that we do indeed have the ability to sell all of our base game crops. They're once again available to us in FS22, in addition to eggs, wool, and milk, as well as silage, hay, straw, and grass. As we make our way down through the productions, though, well, the story is not the same thing. In fact, we are lacking the ability of producing planks on this particular map. We do have the ability to produce furniture, but no planks for you. Which is okay, because this map actually does not have a sawmill pre-placed. But if you do want to get into forestry, just do note that you will have to put down your own sell point if you do put down a sawmill that is going to be processing planks. We do have the ability to buy bulk lime, and we also do indeed have the ability to get rid of our stones with the debris crusher being pre-placed. With respect to the premium expansion, the platinum expansion production items, we do not have the ability to sell any of the platinum expansion production items on this map without putting down your own sell point. But we do have the ability to process and sell our premium expansion crops and production items. Then lastly, if we are playing with pumps and hoses, we do have the ability to get rid of our separated manure. Taking a look at our starting fleet, we do start out with a small list of starting equipment in new farmer mode only. It is all owned, none of it is leased, and has no operating hours on it. We do not have any animals at the start. We do have contracts available to us. And look, we have custom AI farmers. That's a nice, cool little touch. We do not own any production chains at the start, and this map also does not have any collectibles. Let's go ahead and take a look at our starting fleet. We start out with the John Deere 6230R medium tractor, the New Holland T7 275 HD, as well as the Valtra Valmet 8750. For our harvesters, we have the CH7.70 harvester that is paired up with the Verifi 28-foot grain header, as well as the 8-row 980CR 8-30 New Holland corn header. And then for those headers, we have the Nardi N6030 header trailer. We have the Rudolph DK280RL trailer. We have the EcoMat Couverland plow, as well as the Kuhn Prolander 7500 cultivator. We have the Rapid A 800S vendor stand seeder. And then we wrap it all up with a 1500 kilogram and 650 kilogram front weight. Taking a look at our mods and DLCs, this map does not have any custom vehicles or implements that are a part of it. Let's go back and just check out the soil map, because this map does indeed have a custom soil map. So let's go ahead and see how that is being applied to these fields. With respect to our starting field of field 19, we have a mix of all the soil types. We've got a little bit of silty clay, a little bit of sandy loam and loamy sand, and then a big wide swath of loam. Up there, big old field 8 is exclusively loam, but overall, the rest of the fields are going to be a mixed match of various soil types. Let's go ahead and take a look here at our starting farm area. We do have our farmhouse. And we'll go inside. We have the big exclamation mark for our sleep trigger and the little one for our wardrobe trigger. I will tell you that you can indeed sell everything here on the starting farm. So across the gravel road from the starting farmhouse, we have a hayloft. This is a standard base game hayloft, so we have our fill point there and our dump point around the side. We have a large silo complex. Again, these are one of the base game silo complexes, so we have our dump and fill bays right here. We have a large pole shed here, perfect for parking large machinery or maybe placing bales. And then we have our 2 machine sheds. We have a 3-bay shed located right here with our tractors. Then we have our larger machine shed. This is where we find the rest of our starting equipment, as well as a maintenance trigger. And that is the starting farm. Let's get a little bit of altitude and just kind of take a look around. Now, this map is not flat, but it is also not hilly at all. You shouldn't have too many issues with respect to your starting machinery or your tractors in general, being able to navigate the rolling hills on this map, even if it might be a little bit underpowered. To the east of the starting farm, we have a water fill tank right here by the pond. And I wanted to loop to the north a little bit because this is going to take us right up to where one of the two smaller farms are located. This one's going to be located with respect to farmland ID 7. And we will need to buy this in order to get the triggers to activate. So let's just go ahead and get that done, and we'll go ahead and buy farmland ID 1 as well. So you see we have our wardrobe and sleep triggers at the farmhouse. We have a single meridian grain bin. Then we have a small machine shed also located here on the property. All three of these items can indeed be sold if we should so wish. Making our way to the west, we'll go over here to farmland ID 1, where we have the third possible small player farm. And I would say if you're probably playing in farm manager mode or start from scratch, you're probably going to pick one of these smaller farm areas just because it is much more affordable than the main starting farm at $3 million. So here we have another base game silo with our dump and fill point. A nice little red barn with green doors here. Maybe they're brown doors, but at a distance, they kind of looked a little bit green. And then we've got our farmhouse. Located right there. With our sleep trigger around the back. And we can also sell everything here at this farm as well. So with respect to the farms being customizable, we're going to give the map a full point because yes, the farm is indeed customizable. Making our way over here to the north central area of the map. This is going to be where our animal dealer is located. We also have a fuel point for both diesel as well as electric and methane located here. So we have our bale trailer, our bale sell point, as well as for our separated manure. Then we have our animal trigger there. We have kind of a contractor yard that's set up. This is going to be a sell point. There we have big old field 8. Now, in addition to the farms being customizable, we are giving the map a full point with respect to production being built in because we have 10 different productions built into this map. In fact, here we are coming up to a few of those. We have our sugar mill, we have our grape processing, we have our cereal factory, and we have our dairy. We also have another service bay over here by our productions. So in addition to those productions, we also have a grain mill, an oil mill, spinnery, bakery, tailor, and biogas plant. Here is one of the 2 lime buy points. The other one's going to be located on the other far side of the map. And then down in the southeastern corner of the map, we have the BGA. Now, we can buy the biogas plant, and if we do purchase the biogas plant, we can sell everything down here on this property. That will include the large shed, the BGA proper itself, as well as the 3-sided silage bunker. At that point, you could, if you wanted to, put down your own BGA or do whatever else you might want down at this corner of the map. It would be a perfect area, in my opinion, to build out a pumps and hoses BGA, especially since that just recently got updated. But you will need $1.2 million to make that happen. Now, the only 2 things that you cannot sell down here is going to be the methane pump and the electric charging station. Those are going to be embedded within the map. Approximately center on the southern edge of the map, we have a grain sell bin or sell point. is located below here. And to give you a little bit of frame of reference, we're looking straight at the starting farm. And we do have a long drive that comes down here to the southern road. Again, we'll kind of look across and see just generally how the land is laid out. Yeah, not hilly, not flat, just kind of subtle rolling hills. So in town, we've got a lot of things going on. First off, we have our farmer's market sell point. We have Mama Joe's Diner sell point. We also have a restaurant sell point. We have our base game bakery. We have a grocery sell point. We have another restaurant sell point, as well as a tailor. Down here, it's the extreme southwest corner of the map. And then behind that, we have another service bay. There are plots down here that you can buy. So if you wanted to put additional production down, you've got available plots here, as well as here and here where this tree is. We have a service bay here, another fuel point. And then we have a sell point at the bowling alley. Continuing up the western side of the map, again, remember, we do have some available plots that we can buy to put additional things down in between all this stuff. But we have our vehicle dealer. Let's go ahead and pick up our Mahindra. While we're not going to do a drive around on this map, I do want to see where our vehicles are going to spawn. So we've got a large area over here. Now, do note the map boundary is right here. So things are going to spawn in this direction. But still a fairly large open area and very easy to get out of here with any sized machinery. The only thing you might run into is needing to turn off traffic because you might be dealing with traffic. But you shouldn't have any issue because these roads are very wide and we don't really have a whole lot of things right up along the edge of the road for you to have to deal with. We have our dealer trigger located right here. That is clearly marked out. Continuing up the western side of the map, we have our second lime buy point. Then we have our stone crusher. We have another fuel point over here to the right. Then we have our biomass heating plant sell point. We have our oil mill production. Another service bay area. Our spinnery. And our grain mill. And again, remember, there are areas here along this western edge that we can buy and further expand. Then the last point of interest that we want to cover is going to be up here. We have a farmer's market. And just like Elm Creek, it's going to be sell points here around the back. Now, with respect to our scoring system, we've already talked about a few of these things. Production being built in, a full point because we have 10 production items being built in. The ability to sell all of our basic crops, production items, and animal outputs. We're going to take off 1/4 point because we do not have the ability built in order to sell the planks, which is a standard basic game production item. The farms are indeed customizable, so we're going to give the map a full point there. Buildings where appropriate are using the new texturing technique. Yes, they are indeed. And let's go ahead and take a look at our ground textures. Going to landscaping, painting. We've got the fairly standard complement of ground textures and plant textures. We are going to be giving the map a full point there as well. And then the last scoring metric is going to be player in interactive areas being clearly marked. We're going to give the map a full point there also. So that's going to wrap this map up with a total score of 4.75 out of 5. A very basic map, a very simple map, and those statements are not being made in any sort of derogatory way. It is going to be a pretty good map for you to run on. The way these fields are laid out, they should be fairly helper friendly. There's lots of areas around them, so there shouldn't be too much with respect to obscuring the helper being able to turn around and such. And overall, they also appear to be fairly friendly with respect to merging the fields. Now, I would love to know what you all think down in the comments below. With respect to Simple Midwest, do you agree with the scoring? Are there things you'd like to see changed, like things you'd like to see added? And until next time, happy farming.